Welcome back, everybody, to Jordan-Hare Stadium. Joined here by Jason Caldwell. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today to Pregame Blitz here at Auburn Undercover. Jason, this is a matchup here at the end of the season between a couple teams where seasons haven't gone the way they wanted to. It's a couple 3-6 teams, but you drive around town for the past 24 hours, it absolutely does not feel like that. This feels like a monumental game for Auburn. We talked about last week at Mississippi State. This is a team that's been re-energized ever since they decided to move on from Brian Harsin. They're playing with a lot less pressure. The entire feeling of the program is just a lot more loose now and really optimistic. I expect this to be, under the lights, this to be a pretty crazy environment in Cadillac Williams' first home game as Auburn's interim head coach.
Yeah, you're right. It does feel like a kind of a reset, even though the players don't want to hear that and they don't want to talk about it. But it feels like a reset for the program. Moving forward, new head coach here, you would think in a few weeks for the program to begin moving forward. You look at the energy level, the excitement level. I mean, it's been ramping up really since last Monday when everything kind of went down. And Thursday night at Tiger Talk, standing ovation coming in. We've seen, you're right, the atmosphere around town probably been a couple of years. And people went, oh, you had an Iron Bowl here. But that was an Auburn team that was on a 3-game losing streak. There wasn't a ton. There's always energy around the Iron Bowl, but it was Thanksgiving. This week has felt different than really almost anything else. And so when you look at this game, look at this team, opportunity. It's another opportunity. We'll see what they do. What do they build on offensively coming into this one from last week? Do you have some tweaks and things that you can adjust now in the second game plan under Will Friend and Ike Hilliard?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Cadillac would be the first, and Will and Ike would probably be the first ones to admit as well that last week they were really just kind of figuring things out on the fly. Obviously, Cadillac said, this team's behind the 8 ball when you make that decision on a Monday, but no turnovers for them against Mississippi State. 4 touchdowns in the second half. Again, not a perfect game. They had 5 3-and-outs in the game. Had that couple 4th down conversions that they missed, and so not a perfect game at all. But it really does feel like you're going to keep things vanilla again today. We've seen Robbie Ashford. Look, he had the first 100-yard rushing game for an Auburn quarterback last week since Nick Marshall in 2014. So he's figuring things out. I think getting a little bit more confidence back. You're not going to see incredible completion percentages from him. That's just not the kind of guy he's going to be this season. But seems like that's going to be the game plan for them today, is to keep things simple. And if you have Tank and Robbie having the kind of game they did last week and your defense shows up, it's probably a pretty good game plan to win against a Texas A&M team that's it's kind of reeling at this point in the season.
Reeling, and potentially without Devon Achane, their running back. And I won't say their running back. Their next 2 guys have combined for 21 carries this year. If Devon Achane doesn't play, you're talking about a couple of true freshman running backs with a true freshman quarterback all making their first road starts. We're talking about crowd. This atmosphere here in a few hours has a chance to really impact this game. And so you look at Auburn's defense, big plays. Just limit big plays and make these guys drive the football. You do that, you have a great chance to win. And then you mentioned some of that Robbie Ashford. They were able to quarterback run, do some of those things. RPO game tonight. That's where I think there's some because A&M gives up 245 yards a game on the ground in SEC play. They're going to bring everybody they got at the line of scrimmage, and they play some young guys in the secondary. RPO game, a couple of deep shots. Completion percentage, hey, if it's not great, but if you have 2 65-yard passes, touchdowns, that'd be huge for Auburn. So I think some big shots down the field maybe in the RPO game.
Yeah, you mentioned Achane, really the workhorse. Probably doesn't even do him justice for what he is to this offense. Is Evan Stewart, the wide receiver, is a guy who can make a lot of plays, 5-star true freshman. But Achane is the pulse of that offense. You also mentioned quarterback. We'll see who it is today. Connor Wegman for A&M is expected to return. He's shown good flashes in the past couple weeks. If it's not him, it's going to be Haynes King. Of course, Max Johnson a couple months ago is out for the season. This is an Auburn defense that developed a little bit of confidence. It's funny to say, looking at a game where they had 39 points scored at them, but you had 9 straight Mississippi State drives where they didn't score in that game. The defensive front got some confidence going. You had an interception from Jalen Simpson. So this is a group that, again, Texas A&M hasn't been stellar in their pass protection this season. Last SEC home game probably of the careers of a guy like Derek Hall, probably in the Auburn career of a guy like Colby Wooden. If they have a similar level of production there in the pass rush, and really, up front against the run, we didn't get a chance to see if they've improved much because Mississippi State, they only had 10 handoffs in the game. But I think it starts with that pass rush. You mentioned the crowd. Able to get a couple sacks there in the first quarter. That's really going to set the tone for this defense.
I agree. I think you're right. Can they make Connor Wegman uncomfortable? You mentioned Evan Stewart, Moose Muhammad. 2 really good wide receivers for this team. And so you look at that, and again, it goes back to big plays. If you make this team drive the football, control it, complete third down play. I mean, like, don't give up the big plays. If you do that for this Auburn defense, you let this crowd stay in it. You make them have to really execute more and more of the offensive game. I think that's the key for Auburn. Can they run it, avoid turnovers, and can they make Connor Wegman uncomfortable? You do those things, and I think you got to like Auburn's chances tonight.
So we mentioned a 5-star in Evan Stewart. Auburn's got a bunch of those on campus today, a bunch of 5-stars. Bringing here Christian Clemente coming in from behind the scenes, talking about what's a big recruiting weekend for Auburn.
Coming out of the bullpen, yeah, it is. It's a huge weekend, Christian, when you look at talking about an opportunity for Auburn. When you start talking about the program, it's not necessarily, I don't know who the coach is going to be, but Auburn, we hear it all the time, Auburn sells itself. I don't think you're ever going to have a better atmosphere and a better opportunity to showcase that than tonight.
Yeah, this is the perfect opportunity. I mean, right now you can only sell Auburn. You can't sell a vision for a program because you don't know what that vision is going to be because you don't know the head coach. But you can sell Auburn, and there's no one better to do that than Cadillac Williams leading the way. And so far, the early results of just the past 10, 14 days or so have been pretty good of this kind of new revamped staff, sending out offers, talking to kids, and now getting them on campus. You have everybody that you would like to get on campus. You have your James Smith, your Quay Rusaw, your Ruben Bain, Darren Reed. Well, let's focus in on James Smith and Quay Rusaw and Darren Reed for a second. Those are guys coming in for their 5th game of the year. This is a team that's 3-6. An LSU commit, a high 4-star, and then 2 5-stars coming in for their 5th game.
Yeah, it's remarkable to see the interest level from those guys that continues. And people ask, hey, what do you feel like Auburn's chances are? Well, I hinge my chances on the fact those guys keep coming back. And I think, you look at Darren Reed, I think that one's, it may be in better shape than any of them right now. But, Smith and Rusaw are guys that 45 minutes down the road, they understand the opportunity and they've seen the potential. They grew up in this state. They've seen the potential of Auburn, and so I think that's a big selling point for them as well. But Christian, a lot of official visitors on campus. Should be a big group and should be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it'll be big, especially you look at the 2024s as well. Got a couple 5-stars there. The number 2 overall player. Got a lot of talented guys coming in from South Florida. This is just a great chance for Auburn and Cadillac Williams to sell just the university as a whole. Get these kids here.
Absolutely. Win or lose tonight, and you always want to win. Win or lose tonight. This could be a big win for Auburn recruiting. Looking forward to the end of this 23 class, 24 and beyond.